All right, so I'm going to share something with you that's has been a little disturbing in the past and is really prominent here on planet Earth for those who are change makers. Now, what I'm about to tell you is can be a little scary, especially for the change makers. But things are changing. I call it the Caddyshack effect. You're going to love this. There's something absolutely super powerful, and it has to do with, I've discussed this before, not just light workers, but the meek. The meek are actually light workers, and that's anybody who chooses this movement that's happening right now that cannot be stopped. We have 2 critical years here. I'm going to share that information with you. Now, I've been talking about light workers and this time period between now and 2026 that's really critical. You're going to see something really huge switch within these next 24 months. I'm going to tell you what's going on, and it could affect my channel. You ready? Let's go. Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through fears and live an amazing life. I hope that you'll subscribe, because what I'm about to tell you, I need to know if you support the movement that's going on right now, which I call the Caddyshack effect. Now, this is more dangerous for me to talk about today because AI is listening to me right now, and it knows everything I'm saying, and it's going to flag things a lot quicker. I have been so meek and mild on my channel. I didn't cross lines. I was that percentage during our lockdown that sailed through. Never talked about this controversial stuff because I don't want to go into conflict. I don't need to. We're going to talk about what changes we can make now. We are now into big changes. So before we talked about the mindset and meditation and manifest, all these things, and now we're talking about we are action takers. What does that mean? Well, the light workers I talked about in the last video, a couple of videos, are taking a step back, not because they're disengaging in the world, they're actually engaging in the change. And those who choose not to participate, that's their personal choice. It's right for them. It doesn't have to be right for you. I'm going to tell you what's happening right now that's pretty cool, and I'm going to talk about some things that are a little bit on the edge there, for my channel especially. I won't take you into fear, and I won't ever take you into separation, pointing fingers, or controversy, conspiracies. None of that. We don't need to. It's silly. There's 101 ways to look at every situation. What are we doing to change these situations? That's what I'm most concerned with. And we're going to talk about that today, because I'm going to talk about what's happened in the past when people became change makers. And it is disturbing. So what I want to share with you right now is the Caddyshack effect. Have you ever seen Caddyshack? I think I've seen it at least 20 times, maybe more. It's pretty funny. If you want a little bit comic relief, watch Caddyshack. Well, there's this gopher throughout the entire movie who is burrowing all kinds of little tunnels underneath this pristine country club golf course. And of course, at the end, there's some big event that takes place, and what's happening is the groundskeeper, played by Bill Murray, is trying to get rid of this gopher who's way smarter. So the gopher is burrowing. Well, you know what happens? Have you ever stepped on a gopher tunnel? You go in, it collapses, right? The whole thing collapses and your foot goes down into this tunnel. I remember that up in Michigan. So you can see a pristine lawn. You might see a little bit of a, oops, this doesn't look quite right, but everything looks intact. And if the gopher is burrowing enough tunnels, your whole lawn could be destroyed, because you could walk out there and the whole thing could collapse. Well, that's what's going on right now, the Caddyshack effect. Well, in the end, of course, the gopher wins. The gopher always wins. You know, you remember the gopher? Well, right now, get ready, because tunnels are being built. Not physical, although that could be happening too. All over the planet. It's happening underneath this whole foundation here that appears to be just the way it always has been. But something very different's happening. Are you ready for this? Okay, if you are familiar with the Wi-Fi files, I found it says WF, the YWHY files. Very cool channel. This guy was on there for years before he got discovered, and now he has like 3 million subscribers. Sometimes it takes a while to find these people. He really just tells stories. He pulls information together and he shares stories about different subjects that we request from him. And he doesn't get all of his facts right, so there's always somebody on Reddit that's dissing him. He said, just talk to me. You don't have to be disrespectful. I hear you, buddy. It's a nasty world out there for nameless, faceless people who just want to say nasty stuff. But we take on these positions. That's what I'm going to talk to you about right now. Well, he's creating all these stories that are really very interesting, most of them. And sorry to destroy the ending for you, but he actually does, after he tells all these things, debunk everything he can. But he gives as many facts as possible. Now, I saw one recently, and if you haven't, you might want to go check it out. He talks about past inventions, innovations, and what happened to those situations, why we're not seeing those here. Oh, well, we know why. It puts corruption out of business. It puts destruction out of business. It puts the oil magnates and the pharmaceuticals and that all out of business, right? When we go to free and healthy, nobody has to pay for anything. Nobody's addicted to anything negative. It's just, you know, it destroys that whole world. Well, you know, when you have a lot of money, you can squash a lot of people. And when you're dealing with people in low frequency who will do anything to protect their material world, it gets very dangerous. And that's exactly what happened. So in this Y-Files video, he talks about, the creator talks about the many inventions regarding how to power cars. We don't need batteries. Automobiles have been fueled by garbage, water. One of the most powerful ones was water, just regular water. One required purified water, and that got to be a real pain. Somebody else came up with one that was powered by regular water. Now, I'm going to share something about all of this that I want you to keep in mind. Okay, all of these inventors took out patents. Why? To protect it. That was a mistake, and I'll tell you why in a moment. Every single one of them got offers to be bought out. One was as much as $25 million. But here's what these inventors found out what was going to be done with these patents. They were going to be purchased and buried somewhere. They wanted to make sure that that invention could never be put out there. So these inventors, of course, are trying to do amazing good things for our planet, for everything, would not take the money. And guess what happened to them? Yeah, heart attacks, car accident, poisonings, disappeared. Is it worth it? Well, apparently, because people continue to try and solve these problems. Sorry, they're working on our pre-hurricane season stuff out here. So the question is, do you stop doing this stuff? Well, the creator of the Y-File said something I thought was brilliant. He says, here's what you need to do when you come up with this stuff. Don't patent it. Don't protect it so that it can be purchased. Publish it everywhere, all over the world. Put it on TV, put it in every article you can. Get it out there to the public. And nowadays, that could be like massive within seconds. Everybody could have this information and create it. Because he or she is not trying to get money for it. They're trying to be innovative and change everything in a way that needs to be done. All of this stuff exists right now. We have solar power. We have everything. We can heal ourselves. People can easily cure cancer. Why? A cure for cancer. What do? We spend tons of money, millions, billions of dollars to cure cancer when all of these toxins are still being put in and allowed. Why is it ever allowed? Why is anything ever allowed to go into our oceans that's toxic? Why are we allowed to use plastic? This is insanity. We live on the insane planet, right? So, in order to create a new world, we have stopped going out there and telling people what they need to do and showing them how to be enlightened beings. Stepping back and saying, I accept you exactly the way you are. You now have information enough to know that we are not just these physical beings, that we are greater, that quantum physics shows that we are all connected, and that we have unlimited powers, and that there's something much bigger than us. We have this information now. Not everybody believes that. Some people are still stuck in, very limiting religious beliefs, or just limiting beliefs, period, or no beliefs about this. So here's what I want to share with you. In order to accomplish our goals, we're creating the new earth now. It's happening. We're the Caddyshack gophers. Yeah. So in order to make changes, we look like we're doing very small things. Now you guys have seen this. Digital explorers. Harmless, totally harmless. Nobody should ever feel like we're doing something that is a threat to anybody. We're creating planet conscious businesses online. And we're placing passion, purpose, and positive impact first. Then we go into profits and prosperity. We have to earn money because that allows us to gain that power in the material world to make big changes. But we're going to use money in a positive way. Money's not evil. It's the use of it, right? And how we earn it that places it in a negative space. Money itself is wonderful. Let's all have it. Let's flourish. Let's be abundant. Let's sell our stuff. Is your stuff negative or positive? That's what places it into a evil space. So money is beautiful, but if you're earning in a way that changes the planet and improves people's lives, great. Now, there are other things that go on where we can change the planet without earning money, but guess what? You're still going to create abundance for yourself and others, even greater, if you do it in a different way, like some of these people have tried to do. However, there are those with money and power that will squash it. That's just how things operate. But not if you're the gopher, the Caddyshack gopher. And eventually the whole golf course blows up. And Mr. Gopher is still fine at the end. So it's happening right now. Okay, and people like myself, who, by the way, if I disappear, if this channel disappears, you'll know that I became a powerful threat. But I'm not. I'm a little peon out there compared to some of the things people are doing. Now my question to you is, are you deprogramming? Are you? It's time. It's time to stop fueling the world that destroys, that keeps us in conflict. You should be loving your life. Are you? Or you should be enjoying. You should look out there and say, wow, this is an amazing planet. And what can I do? And everything you do and think has to go into that space of compassion, of kindness. And I'm going to read something to you right now because we're going to use this hashtag over and over again. And we're going to create something from the meek. Here's the definition of the meek, and I love it. You're going to love this. The word meek has a few different shades of meaning. It can be misinterpreted at times. Here's a breakdown. Not weak. An important point to understand is that meekness is not the same as weakness. A meek person isn't necessarily timid or lacking in courage, humility, and gentleness. The core meaning of meekness is humility. We would look at enlightened people as those who are able to live in humility. So a meek person has a humble attitude, doesn't boast about their abilities or achievements. They're also gentle and patient, even in the face of provocation. Now, don't forget that. That's the power. Strength under control. Here's an analogy. Imagine a powerful horse controlled by a gentle rider. The horse is strong, but it submits to the rider's guidance. In a similar way, meekness can be as a kind of strength under control. A meek person has the power to react forcefully, but they choose to be gentle and patient instead. Now, the religious context, now this could be a little bit tricky. It's particularly important in some religions, especially Christianity. Meek and lowly in heart. This highlights the importance of humility and gentleness in following Christ's teachings. Now, the modern day usage, according to Gemini, meek can sometimes have a negative connotation, implying someone who is overly submissive or easily bullied. However, the original meaning emphasizes positive qualities like humility, patience, and self-control. Synonyms for meek is humble, gentle, mild, patient, unassuming. Submissive, used with caution, not submissive in a negative connotation, but submissive meaning that they don't always have to be right. They are not going to come back at somebody in defensive mode or conflict. I think that this is really a brilliant explanation of the meek. For me, that's super powerful. Is that you? The meek are the most powerful beings on the planet because of everything I just explained. They shall inherit the earth. We're not a threat to anybody because everyone, including those people destroying the planet right now, thinking that they have to control everything, they can join that world too. In fact, they will not have to fight for anything. They can relax and actually enjoy their lives. They can be healthy. They can enjoy doing good things and feeling good in a way they probably never have before because they're living in this greed and hoarding and fear. Right? This is why I wrote Break Through Fear. Just break through it. It's a choice. It exists. Just like density exists here, sickness, pain, all these things exist here, but you don't have to participate in it anymore. The meek are coming over here and building. Building, 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 building. Yep, building everything. And so when you focus 100% on the change that you can make that's positive, and you recognize that you must eliminate those things that are part of the destructive programming, you will now come over here up into the penthouse and you'll realize it was always there. All I had to do is step into it, and you will start living a life unlike you have, with worry, anxiety over here, and coming over here and saying, oh, I'm free, because those were veils. They were veils, and when I pulled them away, this is it? Okay, I'm perfect. You're perfect. You don't have to heal yourself. You're already perfect. You just have to unveil that perfection. This is pulled away because this is always here. You don't go from here into this. You're already always this. You're a beautiful, happy, enlightened being. You came here as that, playing something else. The meek shall inherit the earth, my friend. It's being built out right now, much bigger than you think. People in every position in our governments, institutions, corporations, the people that you think are not okay might be okay. And I'm not talking about people like even Stephen Greer or who are the Gruff or whatever his name. See, I always mess these up because I really don't care. Gresh, David Gresh, his name, he still works for the government, and he's a whistleblower. It's the dumbest damn thing I've ever heard. Sorry. It's just the dumbest thing. If he's still working for them and he's a whistleblower, he's a mouthpiece. Come over here. Even Stephen Greer, he seems like this really all-powerful. All he does is spend his time with the government. That's all he's doing, talking. Why? Why? It's like going into the insane asylum and trying to make sense with these people who are not playing with a full deck. Right? It's not their fault. They're living in a different world, but why would you go into the insane asylum and hang out with them? And then come out and say, look at what I'm doing. Like, yeah, you're hanging out in the insane asylum. McFly. Yeah, okay. Pull away. Caddyshack. Caddyshack. I'm all right. Okay, yeah, I played with a puppet the other day, all right? I was having fun. You didn't appreciate that? I didn't get a lot of views on that. Apparently people have lost their sense of humor. That's the ego trying to protect you. You're going to feel it, but you don't have to react all the time. Remember, nothing can destroy you. You are eternal. I hope I covered everything. Let me take a look at my list. So I just want to mention one more thing. So there are 2 reasons people do this stuff out there that you're hearing: conspiracy, negativity, fear-based, all this stuff. If they're talking it, walk away. It's disempowering. It just puts you in anxiety, right? Do you feel anxiety on my channel? No, you guys love it because I'm speaking the truth of purity of what you are. And they're speaking the density of the veils, that's all. They're seeing it this way because they're believing all this stuff instead of realizing they're here to change all that stuff and to evolve. So there's 2 reasons that you're seeing that out there. One is intentional programming to diss the people who genuinely are making a difference and make them look stupid and crazy. Yeah, the woo-woo, right? The second one, they're just ignorant. They actually believe the garbage out there and they spew it back, and they're about me. So if I get a bunch of views or subscribers to listen to craziness, that's great, even if they're telling lies, which Corey Good, not only was that all made up, seriously, did anybody ever believe that insanity? And Y-Files, he just debunked that also. I saw him on videotape. I happened to catch this. I saw him on videotape saying that he's protecting his story. He said it's made up, that he's creative. He went into detail saying it doesn't matter if it was real or not. It's basically his fantasy, his fairy tale. He went into the detail basically. He said it's not real. It's not true. Okay? He admits this. But he's making a lot of money, got a lot of attention. That is the intentional fear givers, fear mongers. They're trying to screw you up, make you believe all this stuff. It has to stop. It's insane. Okay? Be Caddyshack Gopher. Be the meek. Powerful. Kindness, even when provoked. Even when provoked. Right? Goes into the state of power. Compassion. Peace. Kindness. Does not react in conflict or loses their integrity for what they represent. And that is that beautiful place of enlightenment. Get ready. And if my channel someday goes off, you'll know I crossed the line. I crossed the line of being too powerful. Well, I would come back anyways, and it would be under the meek. So let's keep following that word, because that phrase, because the meek shall inherit the earth. Get ready for this. Digital Explorers is creating planet conscious businesses online for people who have no idea what they want to do. We work with just their passion, their purpose, and the positive impact they're going to have. We create multiple income streams around it. We create real businesses with a real business strategy. I'm a former investment banker, all right? We create real businesses. You could actually go in a bank and get funding for it, or sell your company at some point. We're going to create powerful, impactful businesses. You're going to feel so good every day you get up. And that's why these inventors out there wouldn't sell themselves short. They had a bigger, higher meaning. It's going to start happening. It can't be stopped. And by the way, a lot of the old guard, they're dying off, right? And they can try and wipe out everybody that they want. There's repercussions that cause an effect. Call it karma. It's coming back. You don't have to do anything. Cause and effect, everything's connected. So if you hang out in the basement with the rats, right, until you go to the penthouse, you're going to keep experiencing the mold in the rats. We're not here to separate ourselves from anyone or call them wrong. We're here to make our own choices. That's how you make a difference. Stop using the garbage. Stop eating the garbage. Cure for cancer. Yeah, give money to give chemicals to change this instead of changing how we live. And so you can go down in my description. I have a link for my Amazon store and my Blue Land affiliate link that is non-toxic, no chemicals as much as that's possible, no plastic, everything I can find that I've tried myself that eliminates that stuff. We got to start somewhere, okay? It's not all going to be perfect. So if you have suggestions for any products, I'd love to add those to my Amazon influencer store so that it gives you a chance to go in and pick some things that you know are going to make a difference. They're going to make you healthier. You'll be more motivated. You'll sleep better. You'll be clearer. It's going to have a profound effect. We're going to wake up. Oh my gosh. I'm not taking any more pills. Wow. I'm actually functioning. Do you know how many of my students are getting off depression pills? All of them. Are you in that situation? That pill won't solve any problems. There's a core, a root that you have to get to. That's where it starts. Not masking it. We're not masking anything anymore. You are whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you, my friend. Namaste.